All right, we welcome you back. Hopefully, you can hear us here live. The hotspot connection is a little bit spotty today. We only got the first 5 innings of game number 1, which was a 4-0 victory for the Southwest Oregon Lakers. Not much for you Mount Hood fans out there that you missed in the time that we were down, but hopefully this game number 2 connection will stay put for the entirety of its what's the duration. So leading off for the Lakers here, top 1, game number 2 is Trinley Hack. As we are officially underway here in game number 2, as Bon Jovi welcomed us in after the short 25-minute break, as addressed by PA announcer Albert Hensley, as that first pitch is a little bit outside, ball 1. Once again, running the solo show here today. So that one is in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Not a lot of things you could say for the Saints in that first game, but they have since wiped that away. It was only a 4-0 game, so not a lot of runs were scored. Not a high-scoring game, very contested, and that's what you'd expect with the number 1 and number 2 teams in the Southern region. As that pitch is another strike, and the count now 1-2. Now, Kylie Parsons on the mound for the Saints. Is that one outside? 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two and 2 is the count, as that one dribbled right to third. Throw to first is not in time, and it's a leadoff single to start game 2 for Southwest Oregon. So here's Andrews, as it was actually Evans who led off for the Lakers. I was given the wrong lineup. I wrote down what I was given, and apparently it was wrong. So now it is Andrews as she bunts that one. Foul, 0-1. So 0-1 the count. And the follow-up pitch is in there, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. The count on Andrews. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck her out for out number 1. So now it's Matutia, if I'm pronouncing that name right. I hope I am. 1 down here, top 1. In a scoreless game, Lakers lead the series 3-0 as they win game number 1 here today by a final of 4-0. They improve now with that win to 39-2. As that one, oh, what a catch there as they convert the double play to retire the side. And we go to the bottom of the first. Here in a scoreless game, it was too quick. I couldn't even capture it. So does Cosmic to lead things off here in the bottom of the first. And on the mound for the Lakers is Taylor Brewer. Kosmicki, who of course led things off in game number 1, will have the same role here in game number 2. Facing a new pitcher, she hits that one out of play, foul over the first base dugout. 0-1 the count. As Mickey 1 is caught, and that is out number 1. Catch made by the shortstop. And now Matlin Leach, batter number 2 as she was in game number 1. With one away here in the bottom of the first, as that first pitch is down low for ball number 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. The count now on Matlin Leach. And the pitch now is lifted foul. 1-1. Game number 2 of 2 on this Tuesday. Game number 4 of 4 in this series as she dribbles that one. Throw over to first is not in time. Matlin Leach with a 1-out single. So now that will bring up Lexi Gary. So Lexi Gary, who of course had the game-tying hit on Saturday, fouls the first one back, 0-1. And a nice one-handed catch by the fan on the bleachers there after just one bounce. Kept it away from PA announcer Albert Hensley back there, and our amazing scorer and athletic director Kim Hyatt. As the pitch is up high. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count. I keep pacing back and forth just to make sure that we are still live. It's still connecting. Again, we apologize for, or I guess I apologize for not having proper connection in game number 1. Wasn't a lot you missed. As Lexi Gary hits one deep, it is gone! How about that to start the second game? 2-run shot for Gary and a 2-0 lead for Hood. And we had just talked about the big hit Lexi Gary had on Saturday against Lower Columbia. And she gets things started for the Saints here in game number 2 against Southwest Oregon. A big 2-run shot to left center to give the Saints their first lead of the afternoon. First pitch to Wilson is just away. Count goes 1-0. Brenna Wilson with only 1 out takes that one for strike number 1 and the count 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Brenna Wilson, the pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. Gets the Saints dugout all hyped up there and gets the fans get going here. Not only their first points of this game, but their first points of the afternoon as they were shut down in game 1. As Wilson takes that one outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two and two to Wilson. Pitch from Brewer. Swing and a pop back. Remains 2-2. Brenna Wilson, another 2-2 pitch. As she drills that one deep, but it is caught for out number 2. As catch made in left field. As Sarah Martin comes to the plate. Left fielder for the Lakers catch was made by Evans. So now here is Sarah Martin, also a power hitter. She takes that one up high and outside for ball 1. Brewer sets, fires the 1-0. 2-0. Two outs here, bottom 1, 2-0 Saints with their first lead of the afternoon, as that one is a little bit low. 3 balls and no strikes. So 3-0 on Sarah Martin. And that is in there for a called strike. It's 3-1. Pitch to Martin, swing and a foul, and the count goes full. Three balls and 2 strikes after having 3 balls and no strikes. With 2 away here, bottom 1. Sarah Martin ready, as is Brewer. And here's the pitch. And swing and a miss. She strikes out. We go to the second, but not before Alexi Gary gets us going with a 2-run shot and an early 2-0 lead for the Mount Hood Saints. Yeah, you can barely see it. You got to back up a little bit. I got it. Yep. It's at 16 minutes if you want to timestamp it. Samantha Mansfield will lead things off here in the top of the second as she takes that one outside for ball number 1. Parsons on Mansfield. The 1-0. Down low, 2-0. Winds it up, delivers it low once again. 3 balls and no strikes. Here, the count on Mansfield. Top 2, 2-0 Saints as she gets a 4-pitch walk to lead things off. So Riley Blair. And she gets her first pitch, and that one is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Oh, 0-1 count, and that one is in there, 0-2. Oh, 0-2 pitch now to Blair. That one's outside, 1-2. One and two the count on Riley Blair as Parsons sets and delivers it as that one grounded. Throw to second. They turn one. They do not throw to first, but they do get Mansfield at second for out number 1. So now to St. Hilaire. Runner on first. 1 down. Top of 2. It's 2-0 Saints lead after getting shut out 4-0 in game number 1. Wind up, delivers it, dribbled foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. And 1 count now to St. Hilaire, and that one is just outside. 2 balls and a strike. Parsons set, delivers, and that one is in there, 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a dribbler to third, over to second, to first. Not in time, but they do get the advance, and there's 2 down. Natalie Gardia, we get to see for the first time. She did not play in game number 1. As her first pitch is swung on, fouled back, and it's 0-1. Oh and 1 with 2 down here in the top of the second, and that one is down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike as Parsons sets, fires it, and that one outside. 2 balls and a strike. Cooling down quite nicely here in Gresham as we get close to it being 5 o'clock on this second day of the month of May. Already 4 full months in, is that one taken outside. 3 balls and a strike. 4 full months into this year of 2023. And it started with some basketball, transitioning into softball. And tomorrow we will bring you our very first baseball stream of the year. Just across the parking lot there that one is a walk. And they get a runner on first. So now is Nolani Brois as she takes her first pitch away, but in for a strike. 0-1 the count. And the pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2. Runners on first and second with 2 down. And the pitch is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So 1-2 is the count. And the pitch to follow is up high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, the count. Next pitch offering up high, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Count full after an 0-2 hole. Three balls, 2 strikes, the pitch, swing, and a foul back. Count remains full. 3 balls, 2 strikes once again. The pitch. Swinging a ball lifted right to Leslie Main. She makes the catch, and that will do it as we go to the bottom of the second and still a 2-0 lead for the Saints here in game number 2. One of the best songs being played right now. Not sure if you can hear it that much, but they are playing the Goofy Goober song from the SpongeBob movie, and not the Goofy Goober song. I mean Goofy Goober Rock. The better version, my dad would call it the ripoff, but it is definitely the better version of I Wanna Rock by Twisted Sister. As that brings us to the bottom of the second, where Gracie Hodgson will lead us off with a 2-0 lead here in game number 2. After today, Mount Hood's remaining schedule, they play Clark. Then we'll be back home a week from Friday to take on Centralia. They do have a makeup game on that Thursday, I do believe. I'm not sure who that is against, though, as that one lifted down right, and that one's going to drop out of play. Just a couple of games left for the Lakers as well. Mount Hood now 30-7 on the year as they drop game 1. Lakers now 39-2. And that one swung on and missed. Gracie Hodgson now 0-2. Even with win-loss for both these teams, they will still remain atop the Southern Division. Southwest Oregon definitely will remain in that top spot, now being 9 games ahead of Mount Hood. But Mount Hood's still a couple of games ahead of Clackamas, who took over for third after Mount Hood did defeat Lower Columbia on Saturday. So they dropped to 4. Clackamas moves up to 3. Clackamas defeated Grays Harbor today in game 1. Game 2 of that series going on as this game is going on as well. That one up high. And now the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Grays Harbor was defeated by Clackamas in game number 1, 14-1. And not like the 27-1 game they suffered here about 6 weeks ago. That one down low in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. But should set up for a very interesting postseason out at Delta Park in just a couple of weeks. Mount Hood, of course, the defending champions, having defeated Southwest Oregon in that postseason to get to the championship game against Bellevue, as the catch made there at third for out number 1. So now Kayla Richmond with 1 away here in the bottom of the second and a 2-0 Saints lead. As Taylor Brewer fires the pitch, that one lifted down the right sideline. It's going to drop, but it's foul. And it's 0-1. Home plate umpire ran up to first base just to make sure everyone knew that was a foul ball. I think the base umpire was indicating that it was a fair ball, but the home plate umpire came over and overruled his judgment. It is indeed a foul ball. And the count now on Kayla Richmond is 0-1. Sets and fires as that one lifted up, and catch is made by the catcher for out number 2 as she pops out behind the plate. So now Zoe Zimmer with 2 away. 2 up, 2 down so far for the Lakers here in the bottom of the second. As Zoe Zimmer gets her first crack in the ball game. She did not play in game number 1. As she takes that pitch down low for ball 1. And now the 1-0 count here on Zimmer is swing and a miss, 1-1. Southern Division, besides Mount Hood, Lower Columbia, Clackamas, and Southwest Oregon, who make up the top 4 by quite a bit. The Southern Division isn't as strong as the other ones, as that one is grounded into left field, and Richmond is on with a single. I'm sorry, that's Zimmer. Zimmer is on with a single. I was already on the last batter. So now Leslie Main will come up. To the north. And I think it's the West region. Have some good teams as well. Makes for an interesting crossover event. Every once in a while, Mount Hood did suffer losses to North Idaho and Bellevue in that crossover tournament a couple weeks ago. They also suffered a loss to Columbia Basin in a tournament early on in the season. That was their first loss. As that one lifted out into the field, it's going to drop for a base hit as Zimmer makes her way to second, and Leslie Main 2-out single to put runners on first and second. So back to the top of the lineup here as Kenzie Kosmicki comes up. 7 losses for the Saints, 3 of which have come to this Laker team. The other 4, Columbia Basin, North Idaho, Bellevue, and Clackamas. And they went 3-1 against Clackamas this season. Clackamas, again, 3rd in the Southern region. Mount Hood still has a couple of games on them to stay at number 2. And assuming that's how things will finish in the regular season, with Southwest Oregon pretty far ahead of the remaining teams. So 1-0 the count here on Kenzie Kosmicki, and the pitch. She hits that one into left or right and backing up, and that is going to be foul. So now the count 1-1. He was also the one responsible for the little dinosaur you saw early on before the top of the second inning. As she awaits the next pitch, and that one is down low. 2 balls and a strike. 2-0 lead for the Saints. Bottom 2, 2 on, 2 out. And the 2-1 is lifted up, and the catch is going to be made there by the third baseman, and that is going to send us to inning number 3. Saints do not get any runs in that, but they still maintain a 2-0 lead as we go on to inning number 3 here in game number 2 between these 2 top teams. Megan Fritz will lead things off here in the third as her first pitch is outside, and that is ball number 1. One 0 pitch is down low and inside, but called strike, and it's 1-1. Parsons again delivers it in there, but just out, 2-1. Parsons on the 2-1 pitch now. As that one lifted up and foul as Lexi Gary makes her way over to field that one at the dugout. So 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count now on Fritz. Down 2-0 here in the top of the third. Sets and delivers as that one lifted up over the dugout. Foul again, 2-2. Parsons ready. 2-2 once again, and that one is in there. Called strike 3. Got her right down the middle for out number 1. So that brings us back to the top of the lineup with Caitlin Evans, who got on with a single back in inning number 1. She gets her second crack at the game 2 as she dribbles that one down the line, but foul, and it's 0-1. Tied, 1 ball, 1 strike. One and one the count here on Evans. As that one right down the middle, but up high. 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2-1 the count. And the next offering from Parsons is outside, but in there, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. 1 out here. Did foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Parsons once again ready. Swing and miss. 2 down. So Carissa Andrews, who struck out back in inning number 1, steps up with 2 away here in the top of the third, and a 2-0 lead for Mount Hood after Lexi Gary homers to left center, and the first pitch to her is down low, and the count 1-0. Next pitch on its way, dribbled down the line, foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. There was a second strike put on the scoreboard. I don't exactly know why, because there's only been 2 pitches so far. I guess oh, there it goes. 1-1. As the scoreboard has been fixed. I knew there was only 2 pitches so far. And here's the third. And that one is outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Not to throw our fantastic athletic director, Kim, under the bus. She's doing a great job. She has provided plenty of support, especially through the basketball season, as that one down low 3-1. And now in the softball season, allowing us to get the setup here and attend these wonderful sporting events. It's been a real treat to bring all these sports, basketball, softball, baseball, to you, as that one lifted down into left, but it is foul, and now it's 2-2. There is one more event that I would like to see happen. I'm not sure if it will, though, and I'll explain what that is in a moment. First off, the 2-2 hit foul, and it remains the same. I mean, it's not only Kim that can be responsible for this, but just everyone else that is involved. One last event, kind of based on some interviews I did back when basketball season wrapped up. And one of the questions I asked is, that one is dribbled to Martin, throw to first is in time, and that will do it. We go to the bottom of the third, and the Saints leading it by a score of 2-0 after Lexi Gary's 2-run shot. They have the lead here in game number 2. So here's Matt and then Leach to lead things off here in the bottom of the third. Saints leading it 2-0. Back to that discussion I was having a little bit earlier. A couple of the basketball players I had interviewed, I asked them the question, if the men's team and the women's team played against each other, who would win that game? And to no surprise, and I don't know why I wasn't surprised by this, all of the men's players that I interviewed said that the men's team would win, and all the women players interviewed said that they would win. So now that's something I like to see. I want to see who's right, but again, not sure how possible that is. So something that can always be thought about, though. You never know, and especially with a couple of these softball players for Mount Hood being on the basketball team, Mickey Johnson, to name a few multi-sport athletes. As the count now on Leach is 1-1. Would be very interesting to see that game, though, just because we watched both the men and the women's team play all season. And it felt like they had kind of similarities. So if they were pitted up against each other, we kind of see a lot of the same thing, I would think. And it would be relatively close. As that one lifted and the catch is made for out number 1. And that will bring up Alexi Gary for her second crack after her 2-run shot back in the first. She does not have a base runner, though. But the Saints do have a 2-0 lead because of that shot from her back in the first. And the first pitch on its way is just a bit high, ball 1. After seeing the baseball team tomorrow and a couple more times this season, I wonder if that'd be another fun thing to see as Lexi Gary pops that one up over the first base dugout, foul on the count 1-1. If the baseball and softball team were to play against each other, that would be a little bit different, though, because there are more differences between baseball and softball than there are just men's and women's basketball, considering because both basketball teams play on the same court. You know, they kind of play by the same rules, but baseball and softball are a little bit different. It's a longer distance between the bases. The outfield is a little bit bigger in baseball. So the question is, how would they compromise? Would it be played on a softball field, or would it be played on a baseball field, or would they kind of move everything kind of half and half? Because then, so the bases are 60 feet apart here as Lexi Gary pops that one into the field, and it's a base hit as she rounds first, stays there, 1-out single. So if the softball bases are 60 feet apart, if the baseball bases are 90 feet apart, would they compromise and go 75 feet? If the softball fence is, I'm not sure what this is. I don't know if it's about 300. And if the baseball fence is about 400, would they go 350? So many questions. But that is, of course, if it happens. So now here's Brenna Wilson as she swings and misses on her first pitch, 0-1. That's why I kind of figured that basketball would be a little bit easier because they play on the same court. You know, nothing has to be changed. But that would be a very interesting event to see. And if that does happen, I would love to be invited to bring that again, as that is in time to first, but it advances Lexi Gary to second, but there's 2 down. So now here comes Sarah Martin. So Lexi Gary standing there on second base as Sarah Martin comes up. She struck out back in the first. And with 2 down here in the third, see if she can do anything more as she lifts that one up and over the dugout and foul, 0-1. And that also kind of alters the pitching mound too, because when the bases are closer here in softball, so is the mound. So they have to move the mound to accommodate that. And there's no bump in softball, whereas baseball, the mound is actually a mound and you're, elevated. So would they go with a mound, but only go like half height, maybe, kind of compromise? There's so many questions if you had a softball team and a baseball team play against each other, but still would be quite interesting. And definitely, I would definitely be going, no offense to any of you guys on the baseball team, I would definitely be going with this Mount Hood softball team because they have been spectacular all season. And, you can't count out the defending champs until they are defending no more. So that one lifted into the field. Lexi Gary will round third. She's on her way home, and she is easily tagged out. So that is out number 3. And we will move on to the 4th. Lexi Gary does not make it home safely, so it remains a 2-0 game. Metatua, if I pronounce that name right, from PA announcer Hensley, is batter number 1 here in the 4th, as that first pitch from Parsons is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. As that one lifted back foul over the dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Parsons ready on the next pitch. As that one lifted again out of play. 1-2. With Mount Hood maintaining that 2-0 lead after getting shut down 4-0 in game number 1. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now the count on Matatua, as that one is just a bit out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Parsons ready again on the delivery, and she gets that one up. That one lifted back, and it's gone. So Matatua cuts the deficit to 1 with a solo shot into right, and it's now a 2-1 game. So now Samantha Mansfield, after that confidence booster for the Lakers there, cut this to a 2-1 deficit here in inning number 4. Mount Hood still ahead by a run, but now their lead has been tapped into as that first pitch is just a bit out, and it's ball 1. So 1-0 the count here on Mansfield, and the pitch is inside, but in for a strike, and it's 1-1. Parsons sets and delivers it, and that one is down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now the count on Mansfield. Back in inning number 2, she walked but was out at second. Sets and delivers it again, dribbler, and the throw to first in time for out number 1. Riley Blair to follow that. As the first pitch there is going to go for ball number 1. So 1 out, top 4, 2-1. Now the score in favor of Mount Hood. As Parsons sets and delivers on the next pitch, that one inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Ready is Parsons again. And the pitch to Blair. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 count and the pitch, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Blair. Next batter up for the Lakers is Juliana St. Hilaire. Singled back in the second. It's now 1 on with 1 away. As the first pitch heard right to Lexigary, throw to second. They do not advance. So Blair does get to second safely, but there are 2 outs now. So here's Natalie Gardia. 2 down, top 4. First pitch down low, 1 ball, no strikes. Runner on second, 2 down, the pitch. Right down the middle, 1-1. One and one the count. Here's the pitch. That one swing and a miss. 1-2. That one is just a bit out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lucas Anderson, if you're listening, I'm sorry for what I'm about to say here. And I hope you don't sue me. Deuces are wild. The pitch is outside and the count goes full. Lucas Anderson, of course, the play-by-play guy for the Mavericks League down in Kaiser. Not anymore, as he now has a new career down in Atlanta. But he, I don't know, has marked that fray. Swing and a miss. They get her. 3 down. We go bottom 4, 2-1, as the Lakers get 1 back on the solo shot. And we'll see if the Saints can add some insurance here, as their lead has been cut down to 1 here in game number 2. He had family to deal with today. New pitcher for the Saints, There's new pitcher for the Lakers, excuse me. MF Fournier, Gracie Hodgson leading things off. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Saints here batting bottom 4, leading it 2-1, trying to get some more insurance runs. The only runs they have this afternoon on the 2-run home run by Lexi Gary. That pitch up high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Sets, fires, as that one is tip foul, and it's 1-2. Lakers have since jumped into that scoring pool, as the next pitch is outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Solo shot brought it to 1. And that is where we stand as of this moment after a 4-0 victory in game 1 by the Lakers. Hodgson now on a 2-2, dribbles that one down to second, throw to first in time, 1 down. So now here is Kayla Richmond. The sun starts to make kind of a late appearance here in Gresham. It's been out for most of the day, offering for some nice softball games here today. Once again, these two mark the top in the South. Southwest Oregon number 1, Mount Hood number 2. As that pitch is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on Richmond. And this is a game that we could see once again in the next coming weeks. Potential playoff rematch. It was Mount Hood getting the upper hand back in the fall. Allowed them to go on to win the championship in extra innings against Bellevue. Unfortunately, I caught on after that, but still congratulations to these Mount Hood Saints for being the defending champions. That one was just outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Playoffs coming soon. Just a couple of weeks starting on Thursday, May 18th, out at Delta Park. Broadcast information to be determined. They do have a professional stream for the Northwest Athletic Conference. I believe that one costs you to watch, though. So now they count 2-2 on Richmond. I have to have a discussion with Kim whether or not we can do our own kind of local broadcast from Delta Park. It may not be video, it might just be audio, as we started the basketball season with just audio. As Richmond takes that pitch up high, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes, the count full. May 18th through Sunday, May 21st. The top 8 will battle it out. As the next pitch on its way, did she go? She did, and she strikes out. So now there are 2 down. As Zoe Zimmer comes up, she's singled back in the second. Leslie Main is on deck. Mackenzie Kosmicki would be after her if we don't get any outs. But there are 2. Mickey would be after her if we don't get any outs. But there are 2 so far here in the bottom of the 4th. 2-1 in favor of the Saints. Swing and a miss by Zimmer. and it's 0-1. If we are able to do a live local broadcast out from Delta Park, I will make sure that I have at least somebody to join me as well. And I would think that my main man Janice is able to be out there as well, but we may not need him if we are not allowed a camera. But again, all that information is to be determined, and we'll try to get that information to you once we have it as well. So 1 ball, 1 strike is the count on Zoe Zimmer. Next pitch on its way, lifted to right, but that is going to be out of play, foul, and it's 1-2. So the Saints, who are now 30-7, Lakers, who are 39-2. They've played a couple of more games than the Saints because of rainouts, cancellations, forfeits, all that. As Zimmer strikes out, and we go to inning 5. So the Lakers prevent the Saints from getting any more insurance runs. It remains a 1-0 game. It remains a 1-run game, 2-1, as we go to 5. So top 5 now, 2-1 Saints. As that first pitch, swing and a miss, 0-1. So Fritz now on plate. 0-2 count now, as that one is just a bit out, 1-2. That pitch just a bit out as well, 2 balls and strikes. Two and two the count here, as that one is foul. Still remains 2-2. Correction on the batter. It is actually Brawwith. I was 1 too many down. If you were to take a look at my scoring sheet, it is a complete mess. So I apologize. It is actually Brawwith, as she lifts that one out of play, foul. Count remains 2-2. Fritz is on deck. As Parsons ready on the 2-2 once again. And it's on its way. Dribbled up and into the field. Kosmicki there to field it. But it's the leadoff single. Start the fifth. So the tying run aboard. Megan Fritz. Lakers trying to tie things up late stages in game 2. As that one bunted. Here's the throw to first. That one's in time. They try to make it a second, but they advance. One down, but they advance the runner. As that brings us back to the top of the lineup with Evans and Caitlin Evans. 1 for 2 so far. So Brawlwitz is on second. First pitch on its way, dribbled, and here's the throw to first. It's not in time. So now Lakers with runners on the corners with only one away. So that brings up Carissa Andrews, who could drive in the tying run with a base hit. Brawlwitz is on third. Evans is on first. And our first pitch to Andrews from Parsons is on the way, and that one is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. When you get the top 2 teams in the region, you expect games like this to be close. Couple innings to go. We could go extra. The pitch drives it foul, and it's 0-2. Saints were in this position in game number 1. They had runners in the corners with only one down. They got out of it, not giving up anything because of a second out strikeout. And right here at 0-2, that's what they could use, is that one is up high, count 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, first and third, with only one away, and the pitch from Parsons. Dribbled, foul again, and it remains 1-2. So much fun it has been to bring you these softball games. And we've had some good ones, including this one. 1-2 once again. Down low. As now Evans will take second. No throw. She's there safely. And now second and third with only one out. Andrews once again. That one is, they check, and she did not go. And count remains, goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to count on Andrews. The pitch is dribbled. And now they will just let them load the bases. The bases are loaded now with 1 down, which may not be bad because now they force the force at any base. So now bases are loaded with Samantha Mansfield. 1 out. Top 5, 2-1, Mount Hood but bases are loaded for the Lakers. First pitch is in there. Called strike. It's 0-1. A 1-1 pitch is just a bit out. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one count here to Mansfield as she swings and misses 1-2. This is a key at bat for both teams. For the Lakers, it could tie the game. For the Saints, it could be out 2. 1-2 the count. Up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Samantha Mansfield. 2-2. Foul. Two balls, 2 strikes again, and Parsons delivers. That one lifted into right and foul. Remains 2-2 with only 1 out. Here in the top of the 5th. Parsons sets. And the pitch on the way. Lifted out towards right again and foul. Again, only 1 out. Bases are loaded for the Lakers. 2-2 the count. The next pitch to follow. And that's in there. Called strike 3, 2 down. A key pitch, a key out. And now they are going to have a discussion. And I think they were just confirming the strikeout there. So now there are 2 outs. So now here is Mansfield. That last batter was actually Matatua. Again, by score sheet, very messy. So now it's Mansfield with 2 down. Bases loaded for the Lakers in a 2-1 game. Parsons sets, delivers, dribbler foul, 1 ball, 1 strike. So 1-1 the count here. Sets, fires it, and that is going to drop, but it's foul. We would have had a lead for the Lakers had that been fair, but just on the other side of that line. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So they had bases loaded with 1 out, and now the Saints a strike away from getting out of a huge, huge jam. Parsons ready, and the pitch, and that one is just a bit out, 2-2. I will not say the phrase again with respect to Lucas Anderson, but there are 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. 2-1 lead on the Lexigary homer back in the first, and that pitch is a little bit up high, and the count goes full. So we are potentially a pitch away from having a tie game with a walk, tie game with a hit, or we go at the bottom of the 5th. So much can happen on one pitch. But Parsons is ready. The 3-2 count is dribbled. Leslie May. Oh, it's mishandled! And this game is tied. So it could not be handled. This game is even at 2 apiece. Once again, bases loaded for the Lakers. Riley Blair now has a chance to give the Lakers their lead of this game. With now runners on all bases and a 2-all tie, the pitch is down low. And that one is ball 1. With just a couple of innings left, potentially maybe looking at another game going to extras. As that pitch dribbled, and Maine will throw it over to first. That one's in time. Third out, but not before the Lakers get the tying run. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, we are now tied at 2 here in game 2. I would assume since you're not in the field, it's fine, but again, I don't know. So Leslie Maine leading things off. She grounds one right to third, and that is out number 1. Now here is Cosmicky. Back to the top of the lineup for the Saints. First pitch to her is down low, and it's 1-0. One and 0 pitch. It's foul. 1-1. One and 1 the count here on Cosmicky. Bottom 5 in a 2-2 game. Winds up, sets, delivers it down low, and it's 2-1. Two and 1 pitch. Up high, 3-1. Three one to Cosmicky. One down, bottom 5. And that is a fourth ball, 5-pitch walk, and Cosmicky on first. So the lead runner is now aboard. As Cosmicky is walked to first with only one away here at the bottom of the 5th. That brings up Madeline Leach. She gets ready to see another one. And that one bunted foul. And it's 0-1. Oh, and 1 the count here on Madeline Leach. The pitch. That one bunted fairly. And now the throw to first is in time. 2 down. And now the throw to third is not in time. Cosmicky now just 60 feet away from giving the Saints the lead, as that brings up Lexi Gary. So base hit will give the Saints the lead. Little mound meeting for the Lakers. Lexi Gary, who of course had the 2-run shot back in inning number 1, has since silented down a bit, being 0 for 2 since then. But now here in the 5th, she has a chance to drive Cosmicky home and give Mount Hood the lead back. The windup, and that one is low. Ball 1. One 0 pitch on its way to Lexi Gary with 2 down, bottom 5, 2-2. And that one is in there for a called strike, and it's 1-1. One and 1 the count here. Next offering on its way is down low, 2 balls and a strike. Lexi Gary again, up high, and it's 3-1. Three and one pitch with 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th. As she drives that one right to third, and that is foul, and the count is full. Three balls and 2 strikes on Lexi Gary with 2 down, and the pitch is lifted, and it drops. Base hit, and Kosmicki scores. Lexi Gary once again contributing. She's responsible for all 3 runs so far with the 2-run shot, and now the 2-out RBI single, and Mount Hood with a 3-2 lead. As Brenna Wilson makes her way up. 0 for 2 thus far. See if she can get something going here. A little 2-out magic for the Mount Hood Saints, who now retake the lead of 3-2. Her first pitch is just a bit outside, and it's 1-0. One 1-0 pitch now on Brenna Wilson. Up high, 2 balls, no strikes. That a little bit more centered for you guys. Coming to you live from center field. Little mountain meeting. Pitcher, catcher, third base, all having a discussion there. 2 outs, bottom 5, but Mount Hood has retaken the lead. It's 3-2. Just a couple of innings left. Right now they stand only 6 outs away from getting the win. Brenna Wilson again on a 2-0 count. Will drive that one into the field, but foul. It was right over third base, but it was right over the line as well. So it is now 2 balls and a strike. With Lexi Gary still on first. 2 outs, bottom 5. The pitch down low, 3 balls and 1 strike. Sarah Martin would be next if we do not go to the 6th. Three balls, 1 strike, the count on Brenna Wilson. As now we're ready. The next pitch is up high, and she will walk. So runners on first and second now for the Saints with 2 away, as that brings up Sarah Martin. And Sarah Martin has had a chance. She had a powerful knock earlier today. Unfortunately, it ended with an out. But she has a chance here with Lexi Gary on second and Brenna Wilson on first to extend the Saints' lead. As she gets her first pitch, swing and a miss, 0-1. Sarah Martin, 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, it's 0-2. She wants the crack. She's gotten some good pitches. No balls and 2 strikes is the count with 2 down, 2 on. And the pitch to follow is just a bit out, 1-2. Sarah Martin again with the pitch. And that one is just a tad in, 2-2. It's all on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of 5. 3-2 lead for the Saints here in game 2 after a 4-0 defeat in game 1. Sarah Martin, once again, the 2-2 is fouled back. Two balls, 2 strikes once again on Sarah Martin. The pitch. Outside, full count. Time is called. Reset. Sarah Martin again. Dribbles out one. And now they will touch second to get the 3rd out. And that will send us to the 6th. But not before Lexi Gary with an RBI single to drive Mackenzie Kosmicki into home. Saints 3, Lakers 2 as we are at the end of 5. Juliana St. Hilaire to lead things off here in the top of the 6th as the Mount Hood dugout is singing the interchange song of Stacy's mom. And I believe that was the Bowling for Soup version. As that first pitch drilled, as mishandled, and it's a leadoff single for St. Hilaire to start the 6th. Natalie Gardia. With 1 on, nobody gone, top 6, 3-2 lead for the Saints, and the pitch is bunted down the line but foul. 0-1. On 1 the count here on Gardia. The pitch is down low, and it's 1-1. St. Hilaire on first. 1-1 count. Next pitch offering from Parsons is bunted down the line, but foul again down the third base side. Parsons ready again, and the 1-2 is just a bit out. St. Hilaire will stay at first. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and two the count on Gardia. Swing and a miss. 1 down. Now it is Nolani Barowis. She was the one that had the solo shot. That cut this lead to 2-1. Since then, each team has scored a run. It's 3-2 as that one lifted out of play, foul, and it's 0-1. Sets delivers inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Count on Barowitz. Parsons sets, delivers it, and that one is just a bit outside. 2 balls and a strike. Two and 1 count. Next pitcher offering now is hit down the line, but foul, and it goes to 2 and 2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Next pitch on the way from Parsons is foul. Two balls, 2 strikes. The count on Gardia. Next pitch on its way. Swing and a dribbler up the line and foul again. Go to the count still. Parsons the windup, the delivery. Swing and a miss. 2 down. Megan Fritz with 2 away here in the top of the 6th and a 3-2 Mount Hood lead. Sets and fires it outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Want to know the count here on Fritz, and Parsons ready and fires it outside. 2-0. The count here. The pitch is outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Three, the count. The pitch in there for a called strike, and it's 3-1. Three and 1 the count here on Fritz. The pitch is in there. The count goes full. St. Hilaire still remains the only base runner. She remains at first. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. 3 in a row for Parsons. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Saints holding on to a 3-2 lead. The Mount Hood dugout singing Jesse's Girl by Rick Springfield. Getting pumped up, holding on to a 3-2 lead as Gracie Hodgson leads things off here in the bottom of the 6th. Saints 3 outs away from not only getting the split here on this Tuesday afternoon, but getting their first win against Southwest Oregon this season after dropping the first 3, in which one of those games did go 10 innings. It was a 1-0 final. See if they can hold on here as Hodgson's will lead things off, and she dribbles that one to the pitcher. Here's the throw to first. It is not in time. So Hodgson beats the throw, and she is aboard with a leadoff single. And that brings up Kayla Richmond, the birthday girl from Saturday. Not her birthday anymore. A runner on first for the Saints. Nobody gone. Bottom 6 here in game number 2. The pitch is bunted foul, and it's 0-1. Sun making its way to the west side. Still going to be up for a couple of hours, though. Does not get dark until close to 9 o'clock now. And with it only being about 5 o'clock, as that pitch is just low, but she did go at it. It's 0-2. Looking at my computer screen, it's already after 6 o'clock. I guess I didn't realize how slow these games were moving, but they've been moving pretty quick in my mind. So they'll be up for another 2 hours or so. Sets delivers as that one is dribbled foul and remains 0-2. I guess I see why they decided to move the game up to 1:30 instead of 3 o'clock. Right now, if they started at 3 o'clock, we would be close to 8 o'clock. It'd be about quarter till. We'd be kind of running low on light here as the pitch to Richmond is dribbled over to shortstop. It's mishandled and not in time. Everyone is safe. First and second for the Saints with still nobody gone as that brings up Zoe Zimmer. The Saints looking to add a little bit more insurance before they go on defense for what they hope is one final time. And the 7th to get the split here against the Lakers. Zoe Zimmer pitch on the way is up high, ball 1. Want another count here on Zimmer. And she does not go there, 2-0. Hodgson on second. Richmond on first. Nobody out, bottom 6, 3-2. Mount Hood with the lead. Next with the lead. Next pitch offering now to Zimmer. Is just a bit high, but for a called strike. If I saw the umpire correct, no, that is ball number 3. So it is 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes to count on Zoe Zimmer. Next pitch offering. As that one is right down the middle, 3-1. Three and 1 the counter on Zimmer as she bunts that one foul. 3-2 in the count full. Another reason this game starts so early kind of gives the Lakers, make sure it doesn't make them get home late. This game ends relatively early. They can still be home relatively early. About a 2.5 hour drive to Coos Bay. Maybe at this hour a little bit longer. Pitch to Zimmer on its way is lifted up over the dugout and foul, and the count remains full. Pitch to Zimmer is dribbled down, and here's the mishandle. Everyone is going to make it safe, and the Saints have loaded the bases with nobody out. So that brings up Leslie Main as the error made once again by shortstop. Will advance Hodgson to third, Richmond to second, and now Zimmer at first. So now a meeting at the mound for the Lakers. Just a brief one as it comes to a close. So pinch runner now for Zimmer. The base is loaded with nobody out. So here's Leslie Main. Her first pitch offering is hit into the field, and it drops for a base hit. And that will drive in a couple of runs, as it is a RBI single for Leslie Main. It extends them out a lead, 5-2. So that brings us back to the top of the lineup. Is that a couple of raindrops that are dropping on me right now? I don't think it is. So runners on the corners. As it is now Mackenzie Kosmicki, the top of the lineup. She takes the first pitch up high for ball one. One zero, lifted down the line, but foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kosmicki on a 1-1. Dribbles that one, and it's into the field. Another run comes in as Leslie Main makes her way to second. RBS goes for Kosmicki, and a 6-2 Saints lead. So Matlin Leach. Saints definitely adding some insurance. As so far they have 3 here in the bottom of the 6th. Extending their lead to 2 over the Lakers. Next pitch offering is just a bit low, and it's ball 1. Want to know the count here on Matlin Leach? 2 on, no out. As that one scampers away, and everyone is going to advance a base. Kosmicki goes to 2-0 pitch to Matlin Leach. Dribble down. Gathered, throw to first, not in time. And Saints once again load the bases. Main and Kosmicki stay the same, but that brings up Lexi Gary, who had the home run in game number, or who had the home run here in this game in inning number 1. As she could potentially have a grand slam if she has another deep shot. Nobody out. As the first pitch to Lexi Gary is down low, and it's 1-0. And swing and a miss, 1-1. Leslie Main on third, Kosmicki on second. Matlin Leach on first. Pitch to Gary is a base hit. And now throw home is not in time, as it will just advance 1 run. Saints once again with bases loaded as Leslie Main comes home. Kosmicki goes to third. Leach goes to second. Gary on first, as that brings up Brenna Wilson. Saints now with a 7-2 lead. First pitch offering here to Brenna Wilson in the 6th is just a bit in. Ball 1. One another count here on Wilson. And that one right to the pitcher. And they do not turn a double play. 1 down. So here is Sarah Martin. Seven to 2 lead for the Saints with Sarah Martin. First pitch on its way to her is inside, ball 1. Sarah Martin's next offering is down the middle, but low, and it's 2-0. Sarah Martin's next pitch on its way, dribbled into center. It's a base hit. They're going to throw it home, and it is not in time. So Sarah Martin drives in a couple of more, and a 9-2 Saints lead. Gracie Hobson with only 1 away. And a 7-run lead. She led off this inning. Saints have already batted down the lineup. First pitch offering to her is bunted foul, and it's 0-1. Saints have opened things up here in the 6th, trying to get some insurance runs, and they have definitely done so, as they have gotten 6 more here in the 6th after having a 3-2 lead coming in. Next pitch offering now to Hot is that one is foul, and it's 0-1. Oh, 0-1 pitch now to Hodgson, as she lifts that one foul, and it's 0-2. Next pitch to Hodgson is down low, and it's 1-2. One and two. Swing and a miss. 2 down. So that brings back Richmond. And they're making a batting change. I believe that is Marley Johnson. Yep. Marley Johnson is now pitch hitting. Here with 2 down, bottom 6, 9-2 lead for the Saints. In what will likely be a huge split in this series. As she drives that one deep, and it is foul. Everyone has to go back to where they are. On 1 now to Marley Johnson. Swinging the ball lifted, and that is caught out in right. And we go to 7, but not before the Saints add some insurance runs. And they have a 7-run lead here after 6. It's 9-2 here in game 2. So we start at the top of the 7th with the top of the lineup for the Lakers, Caitlin Evans. Mount Hood holding on to a 9-2 lead after a 4-0 defeat in game 1, looking to split at least today. They will go 1-3 against the Lakers after dropping both in Coos Bay. First pitch is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Shift is on in the outfield as Mickey plays a little bit further towards left. Next pitch on its way is just a bit outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one pitch now. A swing and miss. 1-2. Pitch on its way is dribbled fair. No foul. So now the next pitch offering on its way from Parsons on a 1-2 count to Evans. Did she go? She did. It's out number 1. So Carissa Andrews, who is 1 for 2 or 1 for 3 in this game with a single. Tries to start a late rally for her team with 1 gone here in the 7th as the first pitch is down low for ball number 1. Next pitch on its way now from Parsons is lifted. It's foul, and it's 1-1. 1-1 the count here to Andrews. The pitch, dribbled, and it's going to get through into the field. It's a base hit. And it is a 1-out single for Andrews. As that'll bring up Matatua with 1 away, but 1 on for the Lakers here in the 7th, down 9-2. First pitch on its way, and that one is down the middle, but just a bit. And it's called for strike number 1, and it's 0-1. Next pitch on its way is dribbled down as it gets through. Kosmicki there to field it, and they will only advance a base. But now runners on. First and second one down. Lakers starting a late rally here in the inning number 7. That brings up Samantha Mansfield with only 1 away. You see Evans there on second. Andrews is on first. And the pitch lifted over the dugout and foul. It's 0-1. Next pitch on its way from Parsons is lifted over the dugout again. It's 0-2. Next offering from Parsons is down low in the dirt. It's 1-2. Runners do not advance. One to the count. Ball lifted out towards the left and dropping for a base hit. Throw into third is in time. 2 down. Nice little play there to get out number 2 as Hodgson gets it to Martin in time. So here's Riley Blair. The Saints an out away from getting the win here in game number 2. First pitch to Blair, lifted out towards right, but it's out of play and foul. It's 0-1. Owen won the count with 2 down here. Top 7, 9-2. Saints with the lead. As that one is just a bit inside, and it's 1-1. One and one the count, and that one is just a bit outside. 2 balls and a strike. Two and one the count on Riley Blair. The pitch upstairs, 3-1. Saints looking for the split here on this Tuesday afternoon. As that one dribbled, as could not be handled. They get the play to second in time, and that'll do it. They get Mansfield out at second, and that will do it. Game 2 goes to Mount Hood. They split the series, but it's the Lakers that have the overall 3-1 advantage in the season. They stay atop at number 1. Mount Hood will stay at number 2. Should be interesting as things come down the stretch. Well, thank you for joining me, the one-man show, for quite the afternoon, as they will now shake hands and congratulate each other as the Lakers will make their way back down. And we will be back with you for another sport. We got some baseball tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that one. Final score, the Lakers take game number 1 by a final of 4-0. The Saints take game 2 by a final of 9-2. Well, I would say for my cameraman, but that would be me. Thank you all for joining me here on this Tuesday, and so long from Gresham.